Today on Driving Through the Bible, we are going to look at the command that God gives Adam and Eve in Genesis 1 verse 28 to be fruitful and multiply. But we're going to look at it in a whole different way than what you're thinking. Everybody knows that it's important to read the Bible, but so oftentimes we don't. We don't have the time, we think, to read the Bible with our busy, hectic schedules. And sometimes it's the fact that we don't really get a whole lot out of it, so why waste our time, we think. Well, in Driving Through the Bible, I want to help solve both those issues by taking less than 5 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, just driving through the Bible, making it as practical as we can be. So hop on in with me and let's drive through the Bible. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God tells Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply and to subdue the earth. Now, we're going to look beyond the obvious that he was giving Adam and Eve the command to have children and populate the earth. And we're going to look at it from a spiritual perspective and look ahead into the New Testament where Jesus Christ himself gives the command to go into all the world and make disciples, to spread God's love through the whole world. And that's where I'm looking at today for my practical applications to Genesis 1:28. I'm not having any more kids, so to be fruitful and multiply and to subdue the earth is quite simply a spiritual command that I am to do what I can to subdue the world, if you will, to subdue the earth. And I don't mean by force. It's not that kind of a subduing. It's giving the opportunity for God's grace, God's love to shine in our world through me. And so my encouragement to each one of us who are followers of Christ is to take that command given in Genesis 1:28 and be fruitful. Live your life that there is a fruit of the Spirit, there is a fruit of God that permeates your whole life, and that others will recognize right away that God is within you. You don't want to shy away from the fact that you're a follower of Christ, that God works and shines, and His love is overflowing through you. And that's where that be fruitful part and multiply part. We want to be able to multiply those things that God has given us into the lives of so many others. We don't want to sit there and those things that God has taught us, those truths that we've developed in our own lives, and keep it to ourselves or share it with just one or two people. We want it to be a multiplying effect. We want our example, our life, our words, our love to be one that others will catch, and they in turn will spread it to other people, and then God's love and grace will be continuing to move throughout the world. That's how God has always worked, and that's how He will continue to work, is through people being His hands, His feet, His mouth, showing His love. So be fruitful and multiply, and let's let God's grace, God's love, not just take over our lives, not just take over the lives of those in our family or those that we are closest to, but let's let God's love, God's grace, beginning with us, start to take over our world, just moving out and expanding. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with each one of us being fruitful in our lives, multiplying those things that God has taught us into the lives of other people, and then going out and being that witness, being that testimony for Christ. Never shy away from the fact that you are a follower of Christ. Never shy away from the time that you can proclaim what God has done for you. That's what we're looking for. So that's the truth that I want you to learn today, that I want you to you probably already know it, but to grasp a hold of and to go out and do. So join me again next time as we get another insight as we continue our journey driving through the Bible.